Hello boys and girls, and welcome to my channel. My name is Big D Boss, and today I'll be your captain for everything One Piece related. I have been reading One Piece on a weekly basis for almost 10 years now, and it's by far my favorite anime of all time, and I also consider it to be the best ongoing publishing story being written in the 21st century. I started this channel to share my opinions and theories about One Piece, and maybe down the line I will expand the subject of my videos and talk about other anime or manga, but for now I will just stick to One Piece. And which better way to start my new channel than by tackling one of One Piece's biggest secrets, as today we're gonna talk about how did Blackbeard eat two devil fruits. Within the lore of One Piece, it is said very early on that no human is able to consume two devil fruits, as they would die in result. However, Blackbeard broke this rule almost 10 years ago, and we still haven't figured out an answer to this mystery. As far as we know it, within the storyline, Blackbeard has been the only person in the world, past or present, to break the rule of one devil fruit per person. One of the most popular theories that tried to resolve this problem in the last decade or so has been called the Cerberus fruit theory. This theory is very well known and very old, but for those who don't know it, basically, the theory states that Blackbeard was able to consume two devil fruits, the Yami Yami no Mi and the Gura Gura no Mi, because of a third devil fruit he had eaten prior to those two, called the mythical Zoan Cerberus fruit. Supposedly, this fruit would allow its user to transform into Cerberus, a mythical creature from Greek mythology. It's just basically a giant three-headed hound that guards the underworld by keeping the living from entering and the dead ones from leaving. According to the theory, this mythical Zoan would also allow you to consume two more devil fruits, acquiring one devil fruit ability for each head of the Cerberus. Although this theory was very prominent for a long time, I've always had my problems with it. I think the biggest issue is that there seems to be little to no connection between Blackbeard and Cerberus. The biggest argument to support it was that Blackbeard Jolly Roger also depicts a three-headed skull, and that the three-mark scar on Chang's face was made by the claws of his Cerberus form and not by that claw-thing weapon we have seen in the anime and in the manga. However weak the theory may be, it brought us some new perspectives on how to solve this mystery and some very appealing aspects that I think a lot of people would like to see in the story. One very interesting aspect of this theory is that it states that by the end of the series, Blackbeard will have the three strongest devil fruits of each type. Remember that Blackbeard was specifically after the Yami Yami no Mi because he believed it to be the strongest of all devil fruits, and of course now he has the Whitebeard's Gura Gura no Mi, which Oda stated in the SBS of volume 58 to be the strongest fruit of the Paramecia type. And finally, if there is in fact a mythical Zoan fruit that allows you to hold two more devil fruit abilities, then you can make a pretty strong case for it to be the strongest Zoan devil fruit. I think the idea of having Blackbeard possessing the three top devil fruits was very appealing to the fans for two reasons. First, the fact that you have a villain breaking the rules of the lore, and by so becoming so apparently overpowered, it gives the readers something to fear and look forward to, even with all of Luffy's growth that we have been witnessing for the last 25 years or so. To know that the greatest challenges are yet to come creates a lot of hype for the events close to the end of the series. Moreover, it is a theme in One Piece that it's not about how powerful your devil fruit is, but what you can do with it. I think this was first brought up back at Alabasta when Luffy has to defeat Crocodile, and everybody just assumes he has no chances of winning because he is a Paramecia going up against a Logia, and Logias are believed to be the strongest of all types. Of course, now we know that Luffy defeats Crocodile by covering himself in water and blood, and by doing so he bypasses Crocodile's intangibility and proves that Paramecia can in fact defeat Logias. Actually, I also found a quote from Rob Lucci where he specifically says the following: "Regardless of the type of power, it all depends on how you use it," and he's pretty much referring to devil fruits in this case. Then again, at Skypiea, after Enel wrecked everybody on the island, here comes Luffy with his supposedly inferior Paramecia fruit, which turns out to be completely invulnerable to Enel's thunder abilities. And more recently, against Katakuri, who basically has an improved version of Luffy's devil fruit and still lost despite Sad's superiority. So Luffy battling a Blackbeard that has acquired the three considered to be most powerful devil fruits in the world at the end of the series would certainly follow along with a recurring theme in the storyline. However, The most important clue this theory brought forward in order for us to uncover the mystery that is Blackbeard was the connection between Blackbeard, the number 3, and his Jolly Roger. If you think about it, in One Piece, a pirate crew's Jolly Roger always has some kind of meaning associated with it. Sometimes its meaning can be purely aesthetical, for example like the Jolly Roger of the Straw Hats or Whitebeard's crew, but in many occasions it also portrays some concept or ideology of the crew. For example, Doflamingo's Jolly Roger, a smiley face crossed over, evokes his traumatic child and his maniacal laughter. Or for example, Laws, which closely resembles Doffy's Jolly Roger but with the incorporation of a heart in honor of his deceased mentor Corazon. If you look at Blackbeard's Jolly Roger design, it is very simplistic. It's just 3 skulls with the bones in a Union Jack type cross, and that's it. It sure doesn't seem to be a visual clue to anything related to the Blackbeard pirates, which gives us the impression that its design points out to something more abstract in concept, that somehow has to do with Blackbeard's character, ideas, past or intentions for the future. This aspect eventually was adopted by other theories, from which one stood out the most. This theory was called the multiple personality theory, which stated that the 3 skulls on Blackbeard's flag stood for his 3 personalities and that each personality could obtain 1 devil fruit. This theory gained a lot of traction because it referred to an early panel in the story way before Blackbeard got his hands on Ace. I'm talking about a dialogue between Nami and Luffy back in Mocktown, the island where Blackbeard makes his first appearance in the story, just right before the Straw Hats go to Skypiea. Luffy and the crew first meet Blackbeard at a local bar in Mocktown, where Nami asks Luffy and Zoro not to make a scene in order for them to gather information about Skypiea. Hearing that the Straw Hats are looking for the island in the sky, the whole bar starts mocking them and even getting physical with them. After being humiliated, the crew steps outside to find Blackbeard, who witnessed the whole thing at the bar. Blackbeard exchanges a few words with the Straw Hats about destiny, dreams, and the One Piece, and Luffy looks pretty intense while this is happening. After the talk, the crew leaves the scene and Nami asks Luffy, "Who is that guy? He probably knows something about the Sky Island, right?" As they were walking away. Luffy says, "I don't know, but it's not a he," which Zoro reaffirms, "Yeah, it's a they probably." A lot of people read this as Zoro and Luffy referring to the rest of Blackbeard's crew, even pointing out that in the next panel Nami says something like, "What do you mean? Does he has a crew or something?" However, the answer was never given, and it's left out in the open very ambiguously. The placement of this scene, on par with the ominous of it, seems to suggest something else. It's possible that Luffy could intuitively know that Blackbeard has a pirate crew just by the nature of his speech. But if so, what's the point of being so enigmatic about it? I don't know, it just seems a little bit weird to me that when Nami asks who is that person and Zoro and Luffy would be answering something like, "I don't know, but he most likely has a crew." I mean, I'm sure if Oda wanted us to read the scene like this, he wouldn't have left it so ambiguous for us. He wouldn't have left any doubt about it. However, by leaving it ambiguously, it certainly is meant to be explained further down the storyline, giving us time to speculate and theorize about it in order to find the answer before it is given to us. So in short, the multiple personalities theory stated that Blackbeard had 3 personalities simultaneously and that he can acquire 1 devil fruit for each. Further theories try to expand on this one, such as the Lost Brothers theory, which states that Blackbeard was a part of a triplet twin brothers and that he somehow absorbed their souls by killing them while they were still in the womb of their mother. Some even expand on this theory, saying that the triplets were some kind of experiment of the world government and that they turned out wrong. Well, I think I have a better theory. My theory can explain everything we don't know about Blackbeard, and it can give us hints on what to expect for the rest of the story. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Blackbeard is the Devil theory. As you may know, a lot of characters in One Piece take inspiration from the real-life pirates, especially from the Great Pirate Age of the 17th and 18th century. X-Drake is based off Francis Drake, Jewelry Bonnie is based off Annie Bonny, Trafalgar Law is named after a very famous naval conflict between Spain and the UK, Eustace Kidd is based off Captain William Kidd, and of course Blackbeard is based off the real-life Blackbeard, Edward Teach. Furthermore, it should be noted that Oda is very knowledgeable about historical pirates and that he even stated in a data book called One Piece Blue Grand Data File that his favorite historical pirate of all time was Blackbeard indeed. And so you know, most stories about the 18th century pirates come from a book called A General History of Pirates by Captain Charles Johnson. It is a very good book and I would recommend everybody to read it. In the tales of the real-life Blackbeard recorded in this book, the real Blackbeard is very often compared to the devil himself. In one occasion, Blackbeard even states that only him and the devil know where his treasure was hidden, and that only one of the two would be able to get it. In another tale, after being woke up by his crew under the pretense that they saw a devilish figure walking around on deck, Blackbeard responds, "How could it have been the devil if I was sleeping here all along?" And just to give you one more, there is an instance where Blackbeard is dining with his two most trusted men. Without a warning, Blackbeard stands up and shoots one of them in the face. Looking at his frightened right man who was still alive, Blackbeard smiles and says,
"This, boy, I made sure you two would never conspire to betray me, and that now you will forever be loyal to me in fear or ending like your crewmate there on the ground."
Very savage, spooky shit. So in many ways, both One Piece and real-life Blackbeards are pretty similar. They are both depicted as evil, manipulative, straight-up savages with no morals besides their own personal ambitions. Both were feared strategists and combatants, and both embody the image of ruthless and dangerous pirates of the sea. However, one aspect of the real-life Blackbeard is very interesting for this theory and is his Jolly Roger. According to Captain Charles Johnson's book, this is what real-life Blackbeard's Jolly Roger looked like. Come on, it's the devil straight up. Here is where things start to get interesting. Could there be a connection between Blackbeard's real-life Jolly Roger and the one from One Piece? In reality, it's very common to find depictions of the devil in Western culture where he is depicted with three faces. The most notable one comes from Dante's Inferno from the Divine Comedy. In this book, Satan is depicted as a giant creature with three faces, each representing one side or facet of the devil. They are said to be the faces of the beast, of Lucifer, and the face of the false prophet of dreams. This depiction of Satan by William Blake shows a very big resemblance to Blackbeard's Jolly Roger. And we are pretty sure that Oda has read Dante's Divine Comedy and at least took some inspiration from it. I remember when I first posted my Blackbeard is the devil theory on Otto Jackson, somebody posted a link to a theory of a guy establishing the inspirations Oda took from Dante's book. But since Otto Jackson has been shut down, I could only find other works online that, in my opinion, replicate the original theory. I'll put the links down in the description below. So, if Blackbeard is, in fact, some kind of incarnation of the devil, this would tie up a lot of things and a lot of mysteries that Oda has left in the story for us. If Blackbeard is the devil and the devil has three souls, then this unveils the mystery of his Jolly Roger and explains to us why Luffy felt he was more than one person back at Mocktown. And it also can be related to something Marco said during the battle at Marineford, after Blackbeard consumed Whitebeard's devil fruit, stating that Blackbeard is not a normal human, that even his body structure was strange, suggesting that his unusual body might have something to do with the fact that he consumed two devil fruits. Well, now let's push it a little bit back. Remember back at Water 7 Enies Lobby's arc when Kaku and Khalifa, those two CP9 agents, are being offered their devil fruits by Spandam? Well, Jabra tells a rumor that if two devils from devil fruit users come in contact or close to each other, they both explode. However, Brueno clarifies, saying that scientists in the New World have seen that it only occurs when the same person eats two devil fruits. Could it be that the body explodes not because it's hosting two devils, but because the body normally only hosts one soul, and it is indeed the soul of the person that hosts the devil of the fruit, and not the body? What if Blackbeard's flag with the three skulls symbolizes that he has three faces or souls, just like the devil from Dante's book? Well, if your body is hosting three different souls, then for sure your body is not like the rest of us, giving meaning to what Marco said at Marineford about Blackbeard having a strange body structure. That strange body structure could be the result of him having three souls in the same body. This could also explain why Blackbeard never sleeps. Could it be that he never sleeps because the voices inside him are constantly whispering to him at night? Or maybe Blackbeard can't fall asleep because once his soul goes to sleep, one of the others wakes up and takes control of the body. This could explain how Blackbeard is so knowledgeable of the world of One Piece. Remember, he stated back at Banatu Island, just before fighting with Ace, that Blackbeard became a pirate to find the Yami Yami no Mi, and that he joined Whitebeard's crew because he thought it had a higher chance of encountering the fruit aboard the Moby Dick. In the same instance, Blackbeard also says to Ace that he has it all planned out, the grand master plan that will take him to the top of the world. And we have seen what his plan was all along. He took years searching for the Yami Yami no Mi just so he could have a hack's ability against Devil Fruit users, so he could in turn defeat a famous Devil Fruit user and use it as a bargain chip with the world government for the Chichibukai title. We've seen how he first planned to capture Luffy, who had been making a name for himself in the Grand Line, but after encountering Ace, he switches his target and captures Ace, delivering him to the Marines and finally being granted the Chichibukai title. However, we also seen how he only wanted the title so he could reach Impel Down, and once inside, he wreaked havoc and forced the most dangerous prisoners in the world to join his crew, everything happening according to his master plan. Then, we witness how he immediately went to the battle at Marineford, renouncing his Chichibukai title and taking Whitebeard's fruit for himself, becoming a clear contender to fill in as the next Yonko after Whitebeard's death. All of this required a lot of planning and substantial knowledge of the world. So, a long time ago, Blackbeard stated that he only joined Whitebeard's crew because it had a higher chance of fighting the Yami Yami no Mi, and in the recent Oden's flashback, we have come to know that Blackbeard joined Whitebeard's crew between the age of 7 and 12. So it seems very unlikely that a child had come up with such a magnificent plan and that he learned a lot of the mysteries of the world just by himself. Contrasting with Luffy, Blackbeard doesn't seem to be uncertain about the existence of the One Piece. It's almost as he knows it for a fact, like somebody he greatly trusts has told or proven it to him. Luffy goes on adventures in the search of the unknown, of the mystery behind the adventure, while Blackbeard seems to go on adventure to fulfill a very specific and material goal. Could it be that the one mentoring Blackbeard, telling him all about the secrets of the world, the Yami Yami no Mi, the existence of One Piece, the importance of dreams, etc., conveying him all these things and preparing a plan for him to achieve greatness, is someone or some soul trapped in his body? Following the inherent will theme of One Piece about people inheriting dreams or goals of characters from the past, we can find out who prior to Blackbeard had the same dream as him. Blackbeard says he wants to be the king of pirates, which for him means conquering the world, a very different and distinct view of what the Pirate King is when comparing to Luffy's view, which is that the Pirate King is just the freest man in the world. Recently, we have come to know of a certain character from the past whose dream was also to conquer the world. I'm talking about the great pirate Rocks D. Shebeck, the big dog before Roger's age. This established another parallel with Luffy. If Luffy got his dreams and will from Goldie Roger, so it seems that Blackbeard inherited his will and dreams from Rocks D. Shebeck. If indeed Rock's soul is living inside Blackbeard's body, this could explain how Blackbeard can be so knowledgeable of the world, because he is getting his information from someone who almost conquered the entire world and thus must know a lot of the secrets unknown to the general population. This would also explain why Blackbeard made homage to Rocks by naming his personal ship the Saber of Shebeck. It's almost suggested that Blackbeard is only the saber or the arm for Rocks' true intentions, that Blackbeard is almost just a diligent tool fulfilling his master's evil wishes and will. Could it be that before he was defeated 38 years ago, Rocks found out a way to avoid everlasting death by transforming himself into a spirit and incarnating the body of a child? That in the moment of defeat, seeing his plans being brought down to the ground, he thought to himself, if only there was a way to do this all over again. Honestly, I can't say through which means he would be able to transform himself into a spirit and whatnot, but it certainly would give a lot of clearance on how Blackbeard divides such a thought-out and long-term plan by the age of 7 to 12. I mean, His plan is the plan of someone who has tried to conquer the world before, and that after failing, considered all of his mistakes and tried it all over again with greater caution and preparation this time around. Although this theory makes a lot of sense to me, there is still one thing that is left out. If Blackbeard has 3 souls and one is his own, and the other is from rocks, whose soul is the third one in Blackbeard's body? I've been struggling a lot to come up with a satisfactory answer, but recently a thought came into my mind that can be interesting or stimulating at least. If Blackbeard is the evil parallel of Luffy, just as Rocks is the evil parallel of Roger, who is the evil parallel of Joy Boy? Could it be Imusama? If it were Imusama, then my theory wouldn't make any sense, because he is still alive and it would be unfamiliar to have a concept like a soul inhabiting 2 different bodies at the same time. However, we don't even know if Imusama was alive during the Void Century, although I must admit it's a very appealing idea. What if, just like Luffy with Blackbeard, Roger with Rocks, what if Joy Boy also had an evil parallel rival of the D-Clan during his time, that he had to ultimately defeat? Could it be that evil Joy Boy, or Sad Boy if you will, was Rock's own inspiration, just as Joy Boy was to Roger? If Roger and Luffy wanted a free world like Joy Boy, could it be that Blackbeard and Rock's dreams of conquering the world come from the rival of Joy Boy? Imagine that in the D-Clan, the clan of those who defied the gods, there were 2 factions on how they should go about it. One faction sided with Joy Boy in freedom, while the other joined with Sad Boy's side in domination. Maybe there was a disagreement about the way to use the One Piece or the ancient weapons, prompting this whole duality about the will of D, mirrored in the rivalry between Luffy and Blackbeard and between Rocks and Roger. My belief is that before dying, Rocks found a way to incarnate his soul and that of his master, a kind of evil Joy Boy of the past, into Blackbeard's body, and that they have been whispering to him all of these plans and secrets about the world in order to fulfill a long-time disagreement within the D-Clan and place Marshal D. Teach as the king of the world, ruling all and everything in it. This theory ties up so many things about Blackbeard while still leaving an opening for the much-appealed theory of Blackbeard eating a third devil fruit down the line, which, following the pattern of the Cerberus theory, would put Blackbeard searching for the most powerful Zoan-type devil fruit, which we have been assuming to be Kaido's unconfirmed dragon fruit or some other mythical Zoan type. And these are my arguments. Blackbeard is based on the real-life Blackbeard. The real-life Blackbeard was considered to be the devil to the point where his own Jolly Roger, which is basically the symbol of his piracy, was indeed a devil. Thirdly, in Dante's book, the devil has 3 faces or souls. The One Piece Blackbeard Jolly Roger has 3 skulls, just like the devil in Dante's has 3 faces, pointing out the devilish nature of Blackbeard, matching the theme of real life and One Piece's Blackbeard's Jolly Rogers. Furthermore, Blackbeard's body didn't explode when he ate the second devil fruit because his body is hosting 3 souls, and each of his souls can host 1 devil from a devil fruit. I think Blackbeard is hosting his own soul, the soul of Rocks D. Shebek, and someone else's, probably the rival of Joy Boy from the past. And finally, Blackbeard has been getting his knowledge and dreams from these souls and plans to rule the world with them. One could say that Blackbeard sold his soul to them in order to become the most powerful man on the world, not the freest like Luffy and Roger and Joy Boy. So if Luffy is the savior of the D-Clan, is the hero of the story and the world of One Piece, then ladies and gentlemen, Blackbeard is the devil. And that's it folks, hope you guys liked my first video. I will have more coming up shortly. If you did, I would appreciate if you could drop a like and subscribe and leave your ideas and opinions in the comment section down below. Until next time, stay safe and thank you very much.